API. Now, before we begin, I would like to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because what happens is the more you subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to more viewers, and those viewers can join this growing community and post either tips and tricks, or they can request something which I'll go research and I'll then share with all of you. Okay. Let's go to the intro. So that's the intro. It says images on every side. I apologize for being late. My mouse has been really jumpy. I don't. It might be because it's extra cold today. I don't know, but hopefully it'll be fine. I'll power through this tutorial. All right. So let's begin. So as you can see with that little animation, I just took all those images you see there have been AI generated. I think maybe except for the Mayor of Toronto, I'm not sure, but basically I think I passed them at least through an AI. So yeah, I think the Mayor of Toronto is the only one that I got from Wikipedia, but the rest of them were all AI generated. No, I'm wrong again. The one for the non-desktop, that one I just took a screenshot of my desktop as well, but the rest of them are AI generated. So so that's basically, it's a very simple tutorial. So let's get started. So now obviously if you try to do this inside Blender, you need to know some tricks. It takes a little practice, but you'll be able to you'll be able to do it yourself, so do not worry. In case you're wondering why I'm not using the old Android phone as a webcam, as you remember, there were some issues. It's a little bit slow, so it's all sluggish, so I need to perfect it. I didn't have time to do it on a night stream, but probably in a night stream or maybe a dedicated tutorial, I'll probably change the library and I'll get it down. So I said one of the things I want to improve is I'll probably take off the audio. We'll have an option to where you can pause the audio, meaning it doesn't do the audio, then the signal will be much faster. Because I think one of the problems is because everything is wireless. That might be why it's a little bit sluggish as well. But we'll get it done, don't worry. And then I'll be using it for some future tutorials, especially on days like this where it's, although it looks nice outside, it's actually very, very, very cold. It's extremely windy, that's why. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be a beginner-friendly tutorial. So essentially what we're going to do up to two things. We're not just going to put the textures on an object, which will be the cube. We're also going to light it up using the Courtyard. As you guys know, I like the Courtyard HDR image, so that's what we're going to use. I got it from Blender 4.5, but I'm going to stop saying Blender 4.5 because I realized in Blender 5.0 it's exact same images. So yeah, I'll take that out in the future. So it's a Courtyard EXR image. In an upcoming tutorial, or I think just the previous tutorial, I showed you how I obtained. Oh yeah, I'll show you in an upcoming tutorial. Actually, the one from tomorrow. The one for tomorrow, I'll show you where I grabbed this Courtyard EXR image. Okay, so you don't need to know much about Blender, but it's just there are a lot of tutorials out there for Blender. You can follow. I have some as well. I even have some. The majority of tutorials I have are Blender Python, but you don't need to know too much Python. It's just basic. If you know a little bit of programming, that's all you need. But I'm saying is you don't need all that. I'm going to provide all the code for you. You just need to follow the instructions. Obviously, you're going to need Blender. You're going to need obviously Python, and what else do you need? Oh yeah, and get some textures, some images. I said if you follow along this channel or any of these channels I have, you'll see we do generate images using AI. You can also use your local AI. Right now, as you guys know, I'm back to using Comfy UI, but you can also use Stable Diffusion, especially if you have a CPU. There are a lot of you can use. For example, all these images, the ones you can tell, the low quality ones, they were clearly generated by using the Stable Diffusion V1.5. So meaning it will run decently even if it's just a CPU. Okay, it might take a minute or two, but I'm saying is you will be able to generate even on an old on a device or laptop, especially newer laptops. Yeah, it will be much faster as well. Okay, so as I said before, we're going to create a cube, and then we're going to put images on every single side of the cube. So to follow along, obviously top, bottom, left, right, is it an east, west? So what is that, 6 images? So you're going to need, oh yeah, 6 images. So any 6 images, you can even repeat if you want them, but and I'm going to show you another trick is to how to get them to scale perfectly to each side, because by default they'll be kind of stretched, right? Because I think by default Blender uses, at least in the past, they're using 1024 by 1024, meaning that if your image is not 1024 by 1024, it's kind of going to stretch it, and it's going to be like extra pixelated, which you don't want. You want it to be scaled perfectly to each side. So no matter what type of image you want, obviously I'm using perfect squares, but I'm saying it will fit perfectly, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So if you're very impatient, you can just grab the Python script. And one of the reasons this is perfect is because we're just using plain images. I think these are PNG files, or maybe JPEGs, I'm not sure. I think one of them is a JPEG. The Mayor of Toronto, I think, is a JPEG. The rest are all PNG images. So we're going to use it as textures. If you don't know what that means, I'll explain that as well. So what Blender does is any picture, if you want to put it on an object, it converts it to texture. So what I'm saying is that you can improve on this by using, for example, KTX or KTX2 for your GPU, but I say we don't need that because we're going to use, I believe these are 512 by 512. We'll confirm that later as well. So as I said, lighting, we're going to use an HDR image, so that way you don't have to muck around with lamps and the angles and all that type of stuff. And then you don't even need to muck around with camera angles and all that as well, because we're going to use a model-viewer. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. It has its own camera and everything as well. So as I said, this is going to be a very simple tutorial. So as I said, the code is over here, and then the code for the browser HTML is also here as well. We'll go through all that. So everything is open source, free and open source. For example, Blender is open source, at least under the GNU public license. This license ensures Blender remains free and community driven. Model Viewer is also open source. It's released under the Apache license version 2. It's a permissive license, allows use in both personal and commercial projects. So I got you guys covered. Okay. And so there's 2 ways to do this. You can take my code and go open up Blender. You go to the scripting workspace. You can paste it in there, just like this screenshot, and then you will see it right away here. And so the reason I do show this Blender, the reason I show it inside Blender is to show you that it actually does work. Another reason is some of you might not have a text editor or a programming text editor, so you can still follow along with this tutorial by simply just doing it inside Blender. You can do that as well. I'll show you how to do it as well. And this is the shading. I'll show you the textures. I accidentally forgot to select one of the slides, so I've shown you, but we'll do that later in this video. And this is how it looked like on the web. So as you can clearly tell, the Mayor of Toronto, as I said, that picture wasn't very good. It was when I got it from Wikipedia, it was, I think, 180 by 120. So 120 by 180. So I just cropped a little bit of the top, and I scaled it up very quickly in GIMP to 512 by 512. So you can say it's not a very good picture, but I'm saying that's not the point of today's tutorial, because none of these images, the quality was very good, except for the non-desktop screenshot which I took. But the key part was just to show you how to get textures onto an object. In this case, it's a cube. And of course, we are doing a live stream right now. That's on the point of today's tutorial. Okay, so I'm live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. I'm going to check Odyssey here to make sure. Odyssey always gives me some weird stuff. Hopefully it's okay. Alright, so Odyssey is finally up and running. Let me just go and save this for Odyssey. Okay, if you want to join the live chat, you can post something. Unfortunately, the OBS version, I'm using one from FlatHub, it still doesn't have the updated version of the CSV, so I can have the browser docs and be able to see what you guys are post chats at the same time. But I have to basically use the browser, different browsers, and go through each window or tabs to check manually. So okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. Perfect. Right there is perfect. Okay, so as you can see, I have an HTML file here ready to go. I have a Python file here. So we're going to take a look at this Python file. I'm going to delete this two here because we don't need them. And this Courtyard HDR image, I'm just, as you can see, just a Symlink. but I'll show you how to get them again in tomorrow's tutorial. But if you've seen, I always do this maybe once a month. I will explain where I get it from. So you can use any HDR image you want, but I'm just saying I like the Courtyard because it has enough lighting for my particular use cases. Okay, so let's okay, I'll open these two files up in the text editor. My mouse is being jumpy. I don't know if because it's extra cold. Yeah, you see that my mouse is very jumpy. Open with the text editor. My mouse is being very jumpy today. I do not know why. I think it's because it's extra cold. You see, I can't even open it. You see that? It's man, it's being a pain. So open with. Oh, I think I'll just drag and drop it instead. Did it close? Wow, okay, I didn't realize it closed. Wow. This is super buggy. I updated the system yesterday, maybe I should not have done that. That's why I always do it on Fridays after. So let's see, I should be able to drag this, put it in there. Okay, that does work. So let's look at the HTML first, because that's an easy one to get rid of. See, I have the doc type, HTML tag in the head section here. I have the viewport. I set to the device width, so this way initial scale set to 1. Title low poly image cube, and this is an important point. The module, if this JavaScript, you see, it's I'm using a CDN, and it's the model -viewer. I'm using the minified version. The styling, I'm not gonna bother with that one because styling is subjective. I didn't realize you can't. That's weird. I can't collapse it. That's fine. Okay, in the body section here, I just have an H1 tag that says low poly image cube model, and this is the model -viewer tag. You can see the source is going to be what we're going to create. It's going to be a GLTF file. This is the B stands for binary, so that's a binary version. Alt tag is just low poly image cube, and I say to auto rotate. Camera controls, I want that. AR shadow intensity, I will set it to 1. An environmental image, that's going to be our Courtyard HDR image. I've found that for EXR images it doesn't work as well. I guess it only works with very basic EXR images. The ones from Blender must be a little bit more complex for it, so it doesn't, but I do use the Courtyard here, HDR. The animation name, if there's an animation, you just put animation. No matter the name, you just put animation, it'll figure it out. And autoplay, so it starts by itself, especially for the animations. If we go to the Python file here, I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see. So we import the Blender Python module, import math. The reason I use math is because I like to specify things like colors and what's the other one? Rotations using degrees. I don't. I mean, you can use radians, but I prefer to use the math. I will import the math so I can put degrees. It's just easier for me, because if I want to rotate, say 89 degrees or 90 degrees, I don't want to do radians. I know I can do a conversion, but it's just easier to put degrees. And then for the OS here, I probably don't need this much anymore, but I when I was using the flat pack version of Blender, because it's sandboxed, even today I want to save the blend file and the GLT file relative to where this Python file is. So that's why I import the OS. So you see here I have some variables, the Blender file name and the export. This is the GLTF binary file. So you see the scripted folder. So this is what this was just I said it's a leftover from then, but I still use it here. These are the image paths. If you guys follow me, as I said, you can notice it goes to my mount the AI partition which I have, and you can see a stable -diffusion -cpp, and in the build folder, you guys probably know this. You see this is a JPEG, this is a PNG. So it's a mixture between JPEGs and PNG files. Okay. So as I said, we need 6. You see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Oop, this is a control net. This should actually be the control net. I picked the wrong one here. This should I think this is the, let me go, what is this one? Is this the man wearing a watch? Man wearing a watch. Oh, this shouldn't be a you know what? Since I'm here, let's actually go take a look at the AI partition. It shouldn't. Well, this does work, but I don't want to use the control net one. I want to use the actual the 5x12. This might actually be a different size. So let's go to stable diffusion. Stable diffusion. Build here. And is this the chickens? I'm not sure which ones those are. I think I mixed this up. The man should be down, and this should be up. The spider web is usually the last one. Yeah, chicken run. This is the one, the chicken run. So I messed this up. This is supposed to be the chicken. You see, it says chicken. It was astronaut on a horse. Yeah. So this is the one. So I mixed this up. So we're gonna fix this. We're gonna delete this one, and then I'll copy this one here. Okay, and I'm going to grab this one, which was a man with a watch. So we're going to use this one here, which is the chicken. Yeah, the chicken run. So now I have them properly. So it's comma. Yeah, perfect. So it's the Mayor of Toronto, Gnome Desktop, Astronaut on a Horse, the chicken run, man wearing a watch, and the spider web one. So that's it. So you see, I said most of them are PNG. The first two actually. I'm surprised this one was the gnome one here. Let's see. Obviously, you can use whatever you want. So it was using this one. It's using Control Net 5. I'm not even sure what that is. Does it even exist? Oh, it was using this one, the watch. So the watch was twice. That was weird. Okay. Oh, it was using the watch twice. I guess I didn't see it. Must have been at the bottom or something. But anyways, so that's it. You can put them in whatever location you want. So let's go down back here, and you see we're using this function to clear the scene. Basically, we grab everything there. Right now in Blender 5.0, at the time of this recording, it comes with a camera, a default cube, and a default light. So all three of them, we don't need them. We delete them. Obviously, we're going to use the cube, but it's much easier to create your own object because it will be selected. You don't have to look through all this weird stuff, right? So yeah, so we clear everything up there first. Then we have one which will create our image material. Basically, we give it a name, the image path, and then it will create this use node is actually no longer needed. It's actually deprecated, so we can actually remove this as well. It's default right now. In the old versions of Blender, older versions, you had to put use nodes true, but I'm saying everything is node based now, so this is kind of redundant. You can probably remove this now. Okay, the nodes, node trees and node tree links, we clear everything, the default stuff, and then we create a new texture node, and the BSD principal node, and an output node. So obviously this is pretty simple. And for the texture node, we set the image to the image path, and then we link it to our base color of the BSDF node, and then the BSDF node, the output goes to the output node, the surface. That's it, and then we return that material. There we go. So that's the function for that. And then for the one to create the cube, we clear this. We call that our clear scene function. And then after that, what we do, we create a new cube, just one cube here. I think this is the default. And then it's selected here. So this is much easier than looping through stuff to grab one which is a cube, which might not exist in the future. Then we unwrap it. So we go to edit mode. We select everything. We put UV reset. So most of the instructions online will tell you to use this one. It will say use this one, the UV unwrap method, angle based. Don't do that one. If you do that one, it won't. As I said, everything will be stretched, right? Everything will be stretched. Which won't look. Which won't look. Now, of course, if you have a very if you maybe you're doing something like a game where you have a world, so you want the texture, you're obviously going to have a very large image for that. So that's perfectly fine. Stretching or whatever, especially if you're going for a pixelated look, that's fine. But for me, I'm not going for a pixelated look. So this is a better option. Use a UV dot reset. This is the trick right here to prevent it from being stretched. And then after that, we go back to the object mode, and then then we loop through all our images. Remember, there's 6 of them. Oh, 6. I counted wrong. 6 images. And then we create a material for each of them. And then what we do is we append that material onto our cube. Right? We append those to the cube. And then what we do is we emulate the polygons, so that basically we have the material exactly where we want, because they're going to be obviously there's going to be six of them here. I'm not talking about the polygons, I'm talking about the images. And then here, this is optional for the camera. We set up a new camera. You see, that's why I said the rotate to 70 degrees, right? So I'm saying it's much easier to put 70, putting it's in radians, so it's to convert the 70 degrees to radians here. And then we also set up a light, and then we start saving on export. So we save this. This is how you save you create a new a Blender file. You save the path here, and this is output file. That's for our GLTF file. And you can see here, this is how you save the blend file. I'm putting in a try exception, so if there's any errors, you have to put it up here instead of failing and breaking your code. And then for the export for GLTF, we select all the items. In our case, all we care about is just the cube, but you could select the lights and the camera of anything else you have there. And then I put in another try exception here. So you can see here, it's simply GLTF. The format's going to be GLB. GLB is a binary version. And then we want to export the images. When you put auto, it will either convert them. I don't know what it uses by default. It might be PNGs or TIFF. No, it's not TIFF. I don't think it's JPEG. I believe it's WebP. It might be WebP. Sometimes it might even do a KTX as well. So just let it do its thing. Export materials, of course, we want to export them. Export apply, set to true. Export Y up, set to true. A new selection, set to false. Okay, and that's it. So we're done. Now, and then in our execution, we just called our generate image cube. That's it. Now we can run this on a command line. I'll show you. See here, I deleted them, but it's going to be added back. If we go back to the command line, you just type Blender space. You can put hyphen, or if the short form is just -b, lowercase b, then space, hyphen. You can type in Python, but you can just type hyphen, capital P. You'll do the same thing, and then the name of our Python file. That's it. And then let it run. You see I'm using Blender 5.01, so one came up here. And you can see here, this is what I was trying to say. It says deprecated warning, material.use nodes is expected to be removed in Blender 6.0. So I should actually, you know what? Next time I do this, I'm gonna remove this. The reason I'm leaving it there, some of you guys might be running older versions of Blender, but I've been getting these warnings, I think even in 4.5. So what I'm going to be doing is, since we're sure when Blender 6 comes out, Blender 6 might come out probably towards the end of next year, or maybe even early in 2027. So obviously I said I'll stop using it, so less warnings there. And you see it created 2 files for us. It created the Blender file and created the GLB file. So I'm going to open this up in Blender, the blend file it created. So as you can see, it's using GLTF 2.0 export, no problem at all, and cube and all that stuff. So let's open up the blend file that it created. Remember, this was all by Python. I didn't even know what and here's our cube. We'll come back to this in a second. Oops. And Yeah, this mouse is so jumpy. Come on. That seems fine. Okay, I don't need any of this. Yeah, I don't need this. I can actually minimize this, and I can minimize it because you don't need. Okay, here we go. Is Blender. So I'm going to go to the scripting tab, scripting workspace. So this is scripting workspace. What you do is just click new, and then you can paste your code in here, and then it will also save the file and everything as well. So, and you can see here this will be what's created. Obviously, it's already been created, and so what you do is you can simply just go here to the shading. See, by default it uses this shading, which is a viewport shading, just to speed things up. But if you go to this one here, you can see now it has my images on it, right? If you go to this one, which is the viewport shading material preview, the default is viewport shading solid. I mean, it just gives a solid color. Usually it's like a grayish white color. That's just so it's faster. Obviously, by having this rendering this images, it's if you don't have enough RAM, or your computer's not powerful enough, or you don't have the GPU for it, it's going to be slower. But I'm saying this is pretty simple because they're all 512 by 512. So 512 by 512 times 6, of course. I'm saying you could still have problems, especially if you're using like Psycho's engine. It will be slower. You can fool around with some of this, like change the sampling in the viewport and whatever. That's what you see here. It says 16. That's for the viewport, but when you actually render it out, it's going to be 64, right? So because you want it to be fast. Obviously, I'm also using the Eevee rendering engine as well, so that's why it's fast. All right, so let's go back to the viewport layout. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and again, I can simply, you see, I'm using the viewport shading solid. I'm going to choose viewport shading material preview, and this is the material preview. So you can use this this one to rotate it. We're going to see. You see that's the Mayor of Toronto again, and those are the chickens, and that's a man wearing a watch. So as you can see, you can just rotate it that way, any way you want. And you can see nothing is stretched. Came out really, really well. Now I'm saying there are things you can improve as well. Maybe some of the sharp edges. There are so many things you can do. What I'm saying is that I'm happy with that. this is the beginning of the tutorial. So let's go to the shading. Shading. Here we go. In the shading. Now, because I haven't selected any of the cube, I haven't selected the cube at all. So that's why you don't see any. You see, use nodes is not even on here. So what I do is if I click anywhere, if I click it, now you can see the material. So let's see what materials it's using. I'm going to see if I can okay, it looks like I can't. Can I zoom in? Okay, looks like oh yeah, I can zoom in. Okay, oops. Okay, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so I think I'll need to grab, let me see if I can zoom out. Okay, so I'll need to grab this and then move it, G to grab, put it there, zoom in. So you see this, oops. Okay, this one. So I'm going to grab it here. You see this one, it says material output, right? And you see it says all, and obviously it's going to be using UV here. And this is the base color. And you can see now, this is what I want to show you guys. This guy here. See? And there's a preview here for the Mayor of Toronto. That's the one it's using. So there are obviously others, because remember we have it's not just the Mayor of Toronto. There's, you saw like the man wearing a watch, a spider web. So for example, if I click this one here, yeah, it doesn't matter which one you click. So that's what I'm saying is you guys know, you saw that I have several of them. So I think it's really face. It says here face material 0. So face material 0 is the Mayor of Toronto. That was the first one. So if I click this, this should be, is it in here? Oh yeah, here we go. You see, if I go to face material, I apologize because I said there's so in the vertical when I split the screen there, the space is so limited. I'm usually used to using the 4K monitor. Right, so there we go, and this is the other one. This is the, what is this one here? So another one as well. So they should be, and you can see this is the GNOME desktop, right? So you can just pick here and pick another one. So for example, if I pick this one, Material 5, right? Same thing. Yeah, here we go. You see that one is using the spider. I'm wondering why this one didn't show up. Is it because I didn't select it, the Material 1? Oh yeah, there we go. The GNOME desktop is there as well. So yeah, so as you can see, those are all the materials. And I remember we did this with Python. Now, could you do this manually? Oh, of course you could, but why? You know, so something like this is perfect for Python. And I said then you can have your, now I'm saying I can still open up the blend file and I can make any more edits. For example, if I want to change the roughness and whatever, I can do it here for a particular image. Now that makes sense because, for example, this is a spider web, so it's like a dark one, and this is in a desert, and then the Mayor of Toronto, I guess, shows inside a building, saying you can go and do that to your heart's content. So I just want to show you that. Remember, I'm using Blender 5.0.1. I'm using Fedora. This is from the Fedora Linux 43 repos at the time of this recording, so I'm not going to save that. Really may change. And I've shown you this as well. So in case you're wondering, where are the textures? The textures are actually in this file, the binary file. I like using the binary file because you can also use the GLTF. There's actually 3 versions, if you will. There's the GLB, which is the binary, meaning that everything is stored in the binary. That's my preference. There's GLTF, where it will split the textures, and so the textures will be here or somewhere else. And then there's one where it will embed the textures in because it's a JSON file. I don't like that option because obviously these images, although I'm using 512 by 512, I'm saying images could be very big and a JSON file will be massively large, and you could also have some corruption as well. So I prefer GLB. If I'm not using any images or things which need to be embedded, yeah, then in that case I wouldn't mind just using the GLTF, the JSON format. JSON is just a text file. Okay, so let's go back to the command line here. We're gonna, since we're using Python, we might as well finish up with Python. So I'm gonna create a Python. I'm gonna use Python for the HTTP server. I think that's it. I don't need to put a port number. Do I need to put a port number? I think that's it. Because I also use PHP as well. I could have used PHP, but I think this is good enough. The Python. Oh yeah, I need to put a port number. Okay, I'll just say 8080. We'll go to 8080. Oops. Where did that work? Python. Oh, the module -m. Okay, see, now it's going to open up on port 8080. The 0000 mean that I can use localhost, I can use 127.0.0.1, I can use the IP address of this my workstation. So that will allow me on the same network, maybe on my laptop, tablet, phone, I can also connect to it there and view it. So let's open up a web browser here and go and check it out, what the output looks like. Okay, so we go to HTTP. I'll use localhost colon 8080. There we go. And it's this one, the HTML. It's low poly image cube. Low hyphen poly hyphen image hyphen cube dot HTML. And you can see now we have our chickens here. This is the Mayor of Toronto, and I think I blew it up a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. It actually works extremely well. As I said, yeah, this image wasn't very good. I said because I should have used AI to scale it up, and I'm surprised this one came out. This one was from a 4K. It actually came out extremely well. So basically, I downscaled from 4K. It downscaled very, very well. I'm very happy with this one. And this one is this was astronaut riding hours. This I said was from the V1.5. That wasn't a very good model, especially with stuff that's out here today, which is fast. So like Z image turbo is what I'm talking about. Z image turbo is actually faster system. So when you said the chickens, all this was done in the V 1.5. I'm probably going to remove that model because that was a test model. The reason I might keep it around because it doesn't. It's fast enough, and it's I guess it's so low resource use that it doesn't cause the fan temperature in the GP to go up. So this is the what do you call it? That's the spider web, and that's a man wearing a watch. So you can, as you can see, it works extremely well. You can even zoom in and zoom out. There we go. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. There you go. Obviously, if I used higher resolution images instead of 512 by 512, if I did this, you will not see those little pixelations. Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with that. So that's the result. Very simple. Just simple Python, and you're good to go. All right. So let's not take too long for this tutorial, and we'll let this guy spin. Let's finish up with this tutorial. Let's minimize this. All right, so I have some books and learning resources. If you want to learn more about Python and Blender scripting, you can find the resources helpful. I have a book called Learning Python. It's available on Amazon. And I also have another book called Mastering Blender Python API. It's also available on Amazon. So just to be aware that the Mastering Blender Python API, I created that book in 2025. So clearly, I think at that time it was Blender 4.3. So 4.3 and 4.5, that book will work. So Blender 5.0 had some breakages, so not everything will work. But if you encounter that, you can let me know, and I can redo that part just for you. The reason I haven't updated the book yet is because Blender 5.0 is still recent. So I'm trying to add more things than in sometime in 2026. I will probably update that book with a version for Blender 5.0, and I want to add the grease pencil as well, more grease pencil things. I also have courses. I have the Learning Python course. It's available on ojamboshop.com. The links for everything is in the description. And if you need one-on-one Python or Blender training, I'm available for one-on-one online Python tutorials, including Blender Python scripting. You can contact me for private lessons at ojambo.com/contact. Or if you need anything else like consultations, you can contact me at ojamboservices.com/contact. The links again are all in the description. Okay, so in conclusion, this beginner-friendly workflow shows how Blender, Python scripting, HDR lighting, and web-based three-dimensional viewing can work together. It's a strong foundation for anyone interested in automation, three-dimensional graphics, and sharing interactive models on the web. I also have some other resources. I live in a rural area, so there's no internet and the server service is sporadic, so I use a SpaceX Starlink residential service. If you're thinking of getting it, please use my referral link. That's one way you can support me. I'll get 1 month free, and you'll get a massive discount. So the type of discount and its duration depends on your geographical location. For example, in Canada, you get the equipment for free. Then I also use it for my phone for Wi-Fi calling. If you don't know what Wi-Fi calling is, just quickly, I can call and receive voice calls, text messages, including the multimedia ones, without any having to pay roaming charges. I also have the Honeywell HeatBud Personal Ceramic Heater. This guy is right here in the cold season. I switch it off during live streams just to keep the noise and noise level down. But when I do AI stuff, I think I'll start using this pretty soon. It's heated up a little bit now. The sun is out, and actually there's a lot of sun out there, so that's obviously. But it was actually much cooler. You see, I even had to get this thing out to keep me a little bit warmer. So yeah, so this guy, it has two settings. Low is 170 watts, high is 250 watts. This guy has saved me hundreds of dollars. I'm not joking, hundreds of dollars in heating costs, because this place is heated by propane. It's very inefficient. But my first year, it was a mild winter, I was paying $350 a month for heating. Yes, $350 a month, which is it's only for heating, for propane. It's very expensive. So last year in the middle of winter, February, the coldest month of winter, I paid $250. The reason is because I started using this halfway through. So most of the time it's on low. The only time I use high is if I accidentally click high, but low is perfectly fine for me. Now remember, it's a space here. It's not meant to heat up the entire room or the entire house, right? It's just your space. For example, my personal space is just where I'm sitting right here. That's all I need to heat up, and this guy works fantastic. Yes, I'm gonna pay anywhere from $3 to $5 a month extra in electrical cost. That is nothing compared to paying $350. So yes, if you think of getting this, use my affiliate link on Amazon. I'll get a commission, and it's no extra cost to you. I have this one, the Algorithmic Serpent. It's a psychological thriller about a scientist. You can see my name there. I'm the author, who creates an AI system and loses his mind. So he has to regain control of his mind and the AI system. So this is a novelette. It's available right now on Amazon in paperback and ebook format. Pick it up if you have the means. It's very affordable. The majority of the cost, something like 95 or actually probably 98%, goes towards printing and shipping for the paperback version and storage costs for the ebook version. Now, my latest is the Recession Business Blueprint. This is a guide to help you start a business during the recession. I created a full video discussing and going over it, so you can watch that one. If you have any questions, you can let me know as well. So this will guide you towards opening a business, getting funding, mentorship, building relationships, whether it's with suppliers, customers, or if you need like something from the bank, a lawyer, and all that stuff. It will help you build those relationships. So one of the things when you start a business, word of mouth is very important. So I'll show you in the book. It shows you how you can compose a letter or a greeting if you need to communicate with someone. So when I started my business in 2009, it was more old-fashioned, handshake, meeting in person, and or phone call to go to meet in person. These days, obviously, people are more comfortable meeting online. So I basically update those concepts. What I'm saying is that some things never go out of style. You still need to network. That will never go out of style. I just updated the networking. For example, maybe 20 years or 15 years, 16 years before I started my business, the networking was different. You literally have to go to a special club. Yes, I'm not joking. You really have to go to a special club in order to meet people, your peers or people you want to meet, right? Obviously, 16 years ago today, it was a little bit different because people are working, so I was willing to go where they work or their school or whatever and meet them in person. Now, I said now it's different. You don't have to join a special club. You don't have to go and meet them in person. I'm saying is that you just make your presence known online, right? And then, for example, maybe they have a social media page, you want to contact them, so that's how you do it. Including maybe someone like me. Okay, so if you want to know more about me, I have a blog in every article I write. I'm a programmer, or some people like to use fancy names like software engineer, web developer, and author. So my book page on Amazon is here. If you want to contact me for consultation services, ojamboservices.com. And then if you want to get the courses on ojamboshop.com, the link is there as well. The best, if you want to contact me, you can leave a comment. For example, this stays up about 10 days when the article goes live. Be sure to keep it at least related to the article. For example, if you want to talk about Blender, or if you want to talk about 3D modeling, good or bad about Blender or Blender Python, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Now, the best way to contact me though is to use the contact forms, ojambo.com/contact, ojamboservices.com/contact, and ojamboshop.com/contact. If you want to follow me, I live stream every day to these channels: Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. Okay, with that said, I am now going to put on the outro, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell you that did I mention you should subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments? That helps the channel grow, and the more people subscribe, the more the algorithm sends it out to multiple people, and those people can join this growing community. They can post tips and tricks, or they can post requests, which I will go review and then I'll share with everybody. Thanks to everybody who subscribed so far this month. There's still one more day. Thanks again. And actually, there was a celebratory night stream I did. I would like to thank everybody. Thanks again for that. So if you want to know what's upcoming, you go to ojambo.com. If you go to watch menu, live sub menu, you can see the topic. This is the topic we'll just finish. It's 2 p.m. Eastern. And then one we're doing tomorrow with 3JS. And then after that, we're going to do a PHP unit testing. And then after that, we're going to do AI. I'll show you how to install the Open Web UI to use for an Olama to use for this Qwen 2.5 quad. It's actually a pretty good model. It's a little bit slow, but it's actually pretty good, and we should see some results from it. Okay, so now I'm going to check the live streams to see if there's any live chats. I'm checking Odyssey first. There's nothing there. Nothing in Rumble. Nothing in BitChute, and nothing in YouTube. Okay, that's perfectly fine.